mentorship itself is a very complex topic. So we would not like to go into those theoretical aspects of mentor, mentee, who can be mentor and like that. But we would like to talk about the need for the reverse mentor, whether, because all of you are experienced for so many years, etc. and like that. Younger generation is a very different kind of attitude, different kind of opinion, and also many things what we are taught in masters and graduation, they are taught in 7th and 8th standard. Like set theory and other, and particularly in technological front, they are quite advanced and like that. So I would like to hear your opinion about the reverse mentors.
So should we start reverse this time?
Okay. Interesting, huh? Smart. So, I firstly, I think, Professor, this is very important for people to understand that reverse mentoring is important for people like us. One, because what happens is as you move up in the career, there are very few people who will teach you things. They are expecting you to tell them. So there's nobody to tell you anything. And the people who are closest to you in your hierarchy and levels will never tell you. So, and the world is changing. So I've had this example, I'm going to share this example, that I would see people using Twitter and the other Insta, and I had no clue what to do. And then one has to understand that the people next to me also had no clue what to do. So what I did, the lowest level person who was digital marketer, I actually told her to come sit with me. So she took a 45-minute session with me. How to open the account, she created my account, she taught me what it is, how it is. So I learned from her. The second thing which I learned was, I've learned traditional marketing. So I've learned segmentation and so on and on and on. But I didn't know how you can get more likes, or how do you get on the Google search engine, how does your name come up? It's a simple thing, but I don't know how to do it. So, but the juniors know. The junior marketers know. So they taught me that also. The other thing which I also learned is, nowadays, we don't have so many secretaries doing your job. You are doing most of the job yourself, right? So there are in, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, which we don't know because we've not used it. Sometimes it really helps, and my juniors have really told me trick of how to do it, and younger people have told me. And the last thing I'm going to say, Professor, before I hand over to Mahesh, I think the reason why reverse mentoring succeeds is if somebody is willing to learn, and means the desire to learn. And the reason why it doesn't work is when somebody feels that if I ask to learn, what will people think of me? And one thing I have to say, from our graduation days, I don't care what people think. I will ask, and I want to learn. So it doesn't matter, but not everybody will be like that. So if we want to institutionalize reverse mentoring in any corporate or any other place, we have to consciously tell the senior leaders that it is not about your weakness. It actually enhances your strength if you do reverse mentoring. So this positive message has to go out. But over to you.
Thank you. I'm so fortunate that I've joined an organization which is just 4-year-old. After working for an organization which lasted for 40 years around this thing. And the world of communication has changed so much, at least in the last 10 years, as you mentioned, the social media. And I've always been scared of using social media, simply because I'm not in control, because I don't know. But when I come here, and HDFC that way was a very conservative organization. You will not, it was not very high tech. We had a very simple home loan product, nothing in it. And even advertising communication was print, basic. We hardly used social media. When I come here, everything is on technology. your sales are on technology. They talk about how many million views and how many influencers, which are the influencers we should use, what is the cost per view or whatever. This is a very new language. So when I went here, when I joined here, I almost was lost. And so first 8-10 days I was trying to tell my colleagues that this is what, although they've seen all those things. But when I started asking them, hey, you keep using this word mashable. What is mashable? It's a platform, it reaches out. So these are type of questions I asked them because I was absolutely not aware, and I was sitting in all board meetings and all, and if I don't understand. But what I realized is the moment I was receptive, these new, the age group which I'm working is between 24 and 29, 4 of them, all 4, and I head the department. My experience is more than each of them. Are you getting me? So 40 years of experience, and so it's a huge generation gap. The communication models have changed. The way you communicate has changed. Print is no longer it is more credible, yes, but still, how do you reach out to people? So technology, as he mentioned, very, very important. But in reverse mentorship, what happens is, they also should know and get my experience. And I've seen this in the last 2-3 months I've been there, that the team has become more receptive of what I am also sharing with them, rather than, because I've been asked, I was not ashamed of asking, because simply I don't know. There's no point me getting into meetings and then looking up to somebody else who's expecting me to talk. It was best to basically get. But my first mentors actually on technology and all has been my daughter and son. They've put my LinkedIn. I can't even operate today also. उन लोग ही देखते हैं. वो लोग बोलते हैं पापा इतने views इतने हैं, आप जरा network में add करो. I am on Twitter, yes, but we never use Twitter at HDFC because of the organization we are in. But यहाँ पर, I used Twitter for the first time, and my colleague showed me how to use it, though I have a Twitter handle. Because when we launched Ayodhya on 4th of June, I created tweet and sent it to media guys, and मेरा relationship अच्छा है, तो I said, you please repost it. Until I did that, I did not even know what reposting was.
Yeah.
So that's the power of mentorship, but it works both ways. If you are open to the youngsters, if you are able to listen to them, they will really go out of their way to help you and also listen to you. This is what my experience in the last fortnight or so, or month or so, has taught me. So it's very, very important.
Interesting. So yeah, but I I have been fortunate enough to be very close to technology. So I'm a finance guy. I need to be up and ready with what is happening in the latest technology. I think so far as reverse mentorship is concerned, I think the first is a generation gap. Of course, I'll just touch upon whatever they have said. I'll just add on. I think the most important thing is in our generation versus the new generation is we have always been following what our bosses were saying. The what part is very clear. This is your to do, and without asking questions, we were doing this stuff. I think the new generation continuously asks you question. Why you are doing? Why I have to do this? If you tell him that you need to create this deck or something like that, indirectly they will ask a question. Maybe they are not directly asking you, but indirectly they will definitely ask why I am doing this stuff. I think that's a big generation gap which has come during these I would say last 2 or 3 decades. The second is even the generation gap has also been lowered. When we say generation gap, earlier we used to say that look, I am 50, my next generation is 40. But even if you ask for somebody who is now 35 years, they will say there are 3 generations who have already come up. So that's the change which is happening as of now. So somebody who is coming from an technology institute like IITs, after 2 years, if they go back and look at those, some of the technologies have become obsolete, and the world is changing so fast. So when you talk about reverse mentorship, somebody who is coming out of the institute right now and somebody who is joining the institute right now, there's itself a generation gap. And that's something which is, the power of technology, the way it is changing. So I came, so while I'm, part of the mall business, I'm also privy to, what all my 116 brands which are doing in the mall. And there are a lot of brands who have started using AI and all. And this is something which, I went back to the generation who is just joining us as management trainees, and we sat with them and understood, what is Gen AI is all about, generative AI, what it can do to us, what are its benefits, how we can utilize it. In our time, I can tell you one story when we used to take one vendor on board to give some consultancy or services. We were so apprehensive that we had to get this background check, solvency, and all. I remember we used one software in our mall where because of AI it gives you a count who has come in, and some of the repetitive counts it actually reduces. So which came from a software firm where they are juniors, like I would say maybe 30, 28 years old. So those are the things which this generation is teaching us. I think this generation is also very receptive to humility and respect. And while both of them talk about being open and receptive, I think the respect is also very important. The moment you start showing respect and humility to them, I think they are also vulnerable. They also learn from us, and while we are receptive, they teach us a lot. So I think this, and maybe once he touches on, I have few more points we can add.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I mean, clearly, I think one common theme that is coming through is the younger generation is far more adept from a tech standpoint, right? Ability to assimilate the latest trends and developments and applying them for business outcomes. But I mean, I'll just try and make a few points. When I look back at my career, I remember early on in my city career, an advice from a colleague of mine who I used to really admire was that he would always tell me that, the best advice, career advice, you will get from somebody who's younger than you. And I used to wonder then, is it really true, or was it just in jest? But I think, by the way, I still remember those words. They may have been spoken about 23 years ago. And the reason is that I've actually always benefited by talking to folks who are younger in the firm, who are able to give you, I think, unconventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom typically comes through top down, but if you're searching for unconventional wisdom, I think you've got to be open to the term that you're using, which is reverse mentoring. That's one. Second, I think in the dynamic world that we are in, the person closest to the customer is the person one should be listening to, right? The organization charts are actually more effective in reverse, right? If the person closest to the customer is actually a very young relationship manager in our business, the higher you are, your listening skills, in other words, your ability to be mentored by that person who's talking to the customer is very important. Because the higher you are, you don't have the ability or the bandwidth to really speak to customers across locations, across segments, and so on. So the shortcut, therefore, to deriving that intelligence, market intelligence, is listening deeply to people who are actually talking to customers, reflecting on it, and continuously improvising. So that, to me, is a second critical benefit. And third is, I think the world is filled with just the other day I saw Zepto's valuation at $3.2 billion. I think it was 3 years ago when I saw two 19-year-olds starting the company within 12-18 months, valued at $500 million. Right, and today it's at $3.2 billion. So I'm just saying that, I mean, what's it's telling us is that they're obviously the generation of today is super smart, right? So, you know, there is therefore wisdom in allying with that super smart folk rather than try and hold on to conventional hierarchy. Yeah, no, and by the way, since we are all from management institutions as our background, I would say the company that at least I remember studying deeply was GE, right? And if you look at the Fortune 500 list today, or it was IBM, and we would study up, you know, case studies on how IBM did this, GE did that. And when I asked, now that I've spent roughly 2.5 decades at work, did they actually succeed? The clear answer is no. So I think to me the heart of this topic is also human traits of humility, you know, ability to listen more. It's, I think, the most under valued skill. You know, the wisest person listens the deepest, and I think all of that is, in my mind, captured in this moniker of reverse mentoring. So you try and listen more, talk to people who are younger, talk to folks who are talking to customers more frequently than you are. I think that is the recipe for corporate success, in my view. Yeah.
Okay, so we understand that the reverse mentorship is important, and technology is important. Technology is changing fast. That is one of them. But there are, as you pointed out, there are many other reasons that why reverse mentorship is important. Like for example, Generation Z is more smart than the Generation X.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even know which generation. Is XYZ, I don't know. Yeah, definitely Z,
X.
Z is the youngest. Yes.